Now moving on with Catholicism. Look at the eye of Lucifer here. That is the Egyptian eye. Don't get deceived. You have the Egyptian obelisk at St. Peter's Square, and therefore you have the eye in the triangle, the eye of Horus, or the eye of Lucifer. This is Luciferian. Look at it. All of this icon, all of these idols, an adornment of Rome. Don't get deceived. Look at this opulence. It takes money, serious money, to do this. And look at that eye again, the eye of Lucifer. There's that fish hat. This is paintings in the Vatican. Look at the eye of Lucifer. Look at the Ouroboros here. All of this occult symbology. The colonial system of Rome is with us today, and it's prophesied to be here and is coming back globally. We have here bank buildings, and there is a lot more than this. The use of this is a homosexual church, and they've adorned this eye of Lucifer. This is in South America. Here is a stained glass window. I believe this is actually this is in a Freemasonic lodge. This is the solvent cross being used that you see in Rome, and then the double-headed eagle, black and white. We've seen that before. This is an actual depiction of the 33rd degree emblem. Very clear image of that. Like I said, I don't like to quote from Blavatsky, but she tells you that the Templar and those Masonic lodges, which now claim to a direct descendant from the ancient Templars, their persecution by the church was a farce from the beginning. So I can corroborate that information. The only thing that I am completely against is who she says is her God. So there are truths that you can find, and there are complete opposite lies that you can find. So, that is an example of how intelligence works. You separate yourself from the organization so that they can't come back to bite you and say, hey, you're involved with this organization. So that's how they like to do things. Here's the Jesuit symbol. Look at this. Does this look like Christianity? I'm sorry. Adam Weishaupt there was a Jesuit priest, studied at Jesuit University. Now look at the adornment here. Look at the nails and the 9-inch nails of that band. Look at now, we've seen this before, the IHS within this Kabbalah. So you can see the influence of what Jesuitism has had. This is Kircher who did this Kabbalah chart. And there's different Kabbalah, there's Jewish Kabbalah, there's Christian Kabbalah, all rooting from the same Gnostic, Kabbalist, ancient mystery religions. You can see here IHS, a lot of people say this is Isis Horus Set. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe it has to do with Hermeticism. So you see Hermeticism, Horus here, perhaps intellectus, some of this, but you see the IHS being used now with this Mercury, all of this occult symbology. I don't know what that meaning is quite, and I haven't pinned it down. This is the Kirkwall Scroll, which is a testimony to Freemasonry and the use of this I, H, and S. And that's a long scroll with a lot of Freemasonic symbology. This is the Tau sign. This is the IHS, and you can see the similarity between this IHS and this money. This is a Jesuit tombstone, and so money having a triple bar, so I in the middle, H with the bar on the S, completing the H and the S itself. Look at here, the goddess of the earth, and you can see the perhaps the origins of the dollar symbol. This is now Ignatius Loyola and his family crest. We have the knight, papal knighthoods, and we have two wolves. They look even more like wolves. I consider these hounds of hell. Look at the witch's cauldron here. Look at the tassels, which represent priesthood. And here's the library attributed to Loyola. And look at the witch's cauldron and the wolves. Wolves, now we understand that dogs and wolves, they howl at the moon. Here's a tarot card, then the two dogs represented. Here's 2 dogs represented in the same the moon tarot card. You can see now the Egyptian symbology there. There's another god, Odin, who is one-eyed. That is has 2 dogs as well, MTV, and their twin-headed dog logo, MTV2. And then Boots, the constellation with the 2 dogs. I think all of these are related somehow, but very interesting that choice is there, and we'll see some of that later. Okay, here is that fish hat that I took this photograph of. That was a pretty amazing trip. Look at the checkerboard pattern. They have all of this, and look at what is above there. Gargoyles. What are these? These are descriptions, and they're is this supposed to be protecting the church? These are demons. Look at that goat head on that. Look at these hybrid creatures that are supposed to be what? Protecting the church? This is actually demonic. Absolutely. Clearly. Please don't be friends with Rome. Look what they do. This is a harpy type creature. Look at the female breasts here that you saw in the Baphomet, and the legs of birds' legs, this kind of thing going on. Look at this. Fantasizing reality on cartoons for your children. These are spiritual beings being religion being pushed on you, and you think that this is not religion, this is just fantasy. And so you go up in arms against Jesus. My goodness, Jesus would not tolerate this stuff. Would not tolerate this stuff. Here is now the Pantheon, a beautiful building. As an architect, I love this. There's the oculus in this building where the sun shines through. All of the gods, pagan gods of Rome, were in here, including the god Jupiter. And this is that actual sculpture. And so when Constantine converted to Christianity, what he did was took all these pagan gods out, kept Jupiter, and installed Jupiter into the Vatican. And so Catholics come and they've kissed this foot so much that it no longer looks like a foot anymore. And this is actually the god, the pagan god Jupiter, made to look like Peter. Unbelievable. So we have here, now you can see Anubis and Rome with its adoration of Egypt. We have 2 towers as well, Skull and Bones. Anubis is a TV show. I'll cover a little bit on but these are Catholic students and Egypt combined. I'll cover that in the last section.